Hey Rob, good to be back.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, likewise. How's it going?
Good. It's a rainy day over here, and I can't think of a much better place to be than just sitting in the nice dry place, chatting it up about international moving.
Yeah. How'd you guys fare in terms of that storm that came through, Helene?
Actually, we were very fortunate. The storm surge, creates a mess if you're on the anywhere near the beach or in a flood area. But the houses across the street from us don't haven't had electricity for 3 days now.
Ooh,
I think this is day three, and we do. And a lot of
that's
times it's the opposite of that.
right. Depends
Yeah.
which line got hit by which tree, I guess. And you know,
Yeah. And,
but yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, the storm was so far offshore. And
Hmm.
as you know, I'm originally from your area. And so I know it real well, but the storm was so far offshore, 104, never came within, I think, 100, 120 miles of your area.
Yeah.
But the storm was so large that it just pushed that storm surge. So although it didn't get the 140 mile an hour winds, obviously, but it was
Yeah.
the worst flooding from a storm in recorded history there.
Yes.
My friend's mother wasn't worried because she lived on the water, not the Gulf of Mexico, but like one of the inlets, bad canals and stuff like that. And no problem, right? Wrong. Well, the tide came up so high she
Yeah.
got like a foot of water in her house, and everyone did. And
Yeah.
so, a lot of those people don't have insurance. They own their homes. Insurance is so expensive in Florida now because the insurance companies have gotten wise. And so it's a mess. It's a real mess.
Yeah. Some people are self-insuring.
Yeah.
So for example, they'll buy insurance for certain things like a fire or something like that for the house. But
Yep.
then the other damages, and they're not getting paid full from the insurance company anyway from the last hurricanes.
That's right.
I mean, insurance is such a complex topic, which, unfortunately, you, if you've ever been through anything like this before, insurance has its place. When you think about something like international shipping,
Right.
your valuables aren't in a house, but they're in shipping containers, they're on a boat. And
Yep.
there's a lot of misunderstanding about how insurance works with that. Maybe you can shed some light on some of that, what people should think about, know about,
Yep. Did you see how well I structured that segue, by the way?
It was
It's pretty good,
outstanding.
huh? Yeah, so insurance on your international move and shipment. Of course, there's ocean shipping, there's also air shipping, but it's more or less the same in terms of insurance. And that's really important. It really is an important topic that I think gets glazed over a lot of times by some companies. They just say, let's get the booking here. Let's get this client signed up and then later go through the details. I think it's important to go through details kind of early. And in a nutshell, there are a couple different types of insurance. Okay. So let's just talk about ocean for now. But it's the same. Total loss. Total loss insurance means it's a total loss or it's not. Can't itemize and say, well, this was damaged or this is missing. It's the ship sank or the airplane, something happened and everything was total loss.
Yeah.
And that's there's a rate for that, a premium, which is 2.5% of what the mover, the client, has declared the value of their shipment to be. That's the premium. Okay. The more comprehensive insurance is called all risk or full coverage, sometimes we call it. And there, items can be individually insured or not. So someone can say, I want to insure the whole thing, or just this and that, and the painting and the statue and the pool table, whatever, or one thing, or doesn't matter. And the premium for that is 3% of, again, their declared value or the items that are being insured. Now, the items being insured under all risk or full coverage, they've got to be itemized. So you've got to, sort of got to itemize what's being covered, particularly if those items are worth $5,000 and up. Anything
Mm.
$5,000 and up has definitely got to be itemized. This is what it is. This is the color. This is the replacement cost, and consider that when we talk about itemized value, that number is reflective of replacement cost at destination in U.S. dollars. Okay,
Mm.
so anything 5,000 absolutely has going to have to be itemized for sure. anything over $10,000 of declared value going to have to be appraised. It's going to, I mean, it really has to be appraised if, if the client wants to be covered, which is certainly to make it a lot easier and much more smooth in the event, unlike the event that there's a problem. Some things may require proof of purchase, and that would be things like, designer handbags. You know how these some of the bags could be 20, 30, or more $1,000 sometimes. And
Yeah.
I tell my clients in those situations, consider taking them on the plane.
Mm.
You got them with you. If there's any questions, it's what I mean. But those in certain situations, the insurance company may require some type of proof of purchase. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the overview. The
Yeah.
other the other thing to consider, it always comes up, but when I look at someone's move, very broadly, I'm looking at it and I think of three categories. Category one, boxes, things that are in boxes, kitchen items, clothing, books, to include artwork, because framed artwork on the wall, we're going to box those. High value we may create. And then you have furniture. A dining room table doesn't go in a box. Sofa doesn't go in a box. But it's wrapped and protected appropriately. It could be crated, it could be soft crated, could just be heavily wrapped and protected. And then the third category is going to be things that are high value
Mm.
or intricate or delicate, or a billiard table, a real nice grandfather clock, pinball tables, statues, things of that nature. That's over and above, and we're going to handle those differently. So, speaking of insurance, things that are going into a box that are going to be insured those boxes must be packed by the agent, packed by
Mm.
a licensed agent. And it can be just one box. It doesn't have to be all of them necessarily,
Yeah.
but whatever's insured must be packed by agent.
So on the high end,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, for example, just take a generic situation. I have a few items, let's say a TV set that are extra fragile. The TV doesn't work when I get to my destination. Maybe it got jarred, something's loose on the inside. I mean, something like that is not really high dollar anymore. I mean, I guess you can have a
Not
super
anymore.
expensive TV,
Yeah.
but so for that, you're just looking for the replacement cost. So if the TV is like 5 or 6 years old, what are you going to get? You're going to get enough to what, pay like half of a new one, or
Jim, that's really a good question because honestly, in a situation like that, someone could have proof of purchase TV of, $3,000. Of course,
yeah,
today it would be $700,
yeah,
maybe. And maybe it didn't work in the beginning in the first place. So now it
yeah,
gets there and they claim it doesn't work. Well, I'd have to get back to you on that, exactly how that might work.
yeah,
That might be a problem for the insurer. They might say, well, what's the replacement cost of this?
yeah.
And that might get a little dicey because you can see the insurance underwriter kind of thinking, are we being gamed here? That kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I imagine that unlike, let's say, hurricanes in Florida, the breakage and things like that on a ship or a plane are not so frequent that insurance companies don't even want to insure anymore, right?
No,
They're
no.
yeah,
Marine insurance is that they're going to always do that. Yeah.
yeah,
They have to. It
yeah.
makes the
Like
world, you know,
the one the ship that crashed in Baltimore, that was that last year?
it was last year,
Or was
wasn't
it
it?
2 years already? I don't remember.
No, no, it was last year, I
Last
guess, or
year.
earliest. Yeah.
Now that's really rare,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so when you're looking at, well, you're looking at your household items, which are your most valuable possessions, in your life. If anything, a lot of them have sentimental value, and some people would say, "I don't want to replace that. I like it as it is," you
Right.
know. But I can see that if you have like pinball table or statue or a valuable art, that you're going to want to probably go out of your way to extra insure those if that's,
You want to
if
have
they,
them
yeah,
appraised and listed and declared,
yeah.
appraised and listed. Yes.
So now somebody may ask, well, I understand that I want to put insurance on these items, but doesn't the boat have some kind of insurance on it already? But that's just very basic, right?
They're very, very basic. Yeah. It's very, very basic on the boat. And in the case of Baltimore, there's force majeure, so
Yeah.
that's an act of nature, or was it nature in this case, but it was uncontrollable by
Yeah.
anyone on the shipping line, or us, or anything like that. So that would fall
Yeah.
under that category. The other thing to consider, this comes up every once in a while. Sometimes, normally what we do in international moving is moving people from door to door, right?
Yeah.
So it's from the door in the United States in this case, or it could be in Europe coming this way, all the way to the delivery at the home, the other door, right?
Yeah.
Some clients will say, I would rather just ship to the port. I have connections. I'm a diplomat, whatever the situation is. Get it to the port. I'll take care of handling customs and delivering it to my new place. And that's perfectly fine. We do it. It's a smaller portion of our business.
Yeah.
In that case, you can't insure anything. You just can't,
Yeah.
because the insurance has no idea what happened from that port to the home on the other side, right? They have
Yeah.
no idea, and they're going to assume that we had nothing to do with it. Our transaction had nothing to do with it. So
Yes. So it's a
that
chain
would
of
be another
custody.
policy that they would have to get, find a policy that would cover from the port to,
I
and that's
got
going to,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense because that chain of custody has been broken. Once they
completely
take it,
broken. We don't
yeah,
know exactly. We don't know what happened here because it was broken. Exactly.
yeah. Rough estimate, two-bedroom house. What does the average person invest in insurance wise, or you don't have that information?
No, I got the information, but I mean, it's just 3%, 2.5 to 3% what they're insuring really. And I move clients, that have $80,000 worth of patio furniture around the pool, and some that don't. So it really it's hard to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Like, how
Um,
long is this string? Hmm.
Well, that's great information. So, if somebody calls up, they're getting started in the process. They're giving you some dates, where they're going, where you want to get eyes on it. When does this
Right.
topic come up? Right in the beginning? Should somebody ask right in the beginning, or after you got all of the information, then you talk about insurance?
No, I like, when I do a consultation with a client, whether it's video based or on the phone, as do any of our relocation specialists, we're going to talk about insurance and certainly answer any questions about insurance. It's an important piece of the move. It just is. In terms of the nitty gritty, the details, that's after the booking process, shortly, very shortly after the booking process, because certain things need to get moving and get done
Yeah,
well prior to shipping,
yeah,
or full pickup. Once it's picked up and on the way, you can't do the insurance policy because, again, it's something happened
yeah,
in the process.
yeah. That makes sense. That
Like
makes sense.
insuring your car. It's like, I don't know how to. I'm not sure of the analogy there, but it's insuring something after the fact potentially.
Yeah, yeah. Rob, that's great information. I mean, insurance is one of those topics that make people's eyes glaze over, but when you actually see people losing things, this topic comes up. And I've seen enough loss over the years now to know that, hey, you have to understand how the insurance works, what's worth insuring. And unless you've got really deep pockets, it doesn't usually make sense to insure each and every item,
Right.
that's
Not
it's
necessarily. Exactly. And I'll add one other little piece here. We talked about ocean shipping or air shipping, and I said they're basically the same, just the conveyance is different.
yeah.
But when I'm shipping to Canada and Mexico, primarily, that's going to be over the road now in
Yeah,
a truck.
good point. Yeah.
And the roads may not be absolutely perfect depending on the destination in either country. And I always recommend insurance for those moves.
Yeah.
It's really, really important to insure things.
Oh, one last question about this, like car insurance or house insurance, there's a deductible, right?
There is a deductible. It's a small deductible relative to the whole situation, but there is a processing fee, and it's very small. And then there's subject to a deductible.
Yeah. Rob, great information as always. I learned
Yep.
something new
Thank
once
you.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my job.
All right. Well, we'll put your number up on the screen so somebody can reach out to you directly. And yeah, thanks for your time.
You're very welcome, Jim. Stay dry out there, and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you, Rob.
Bye now.